I'm Kathy Talbot.
And I'm Dan Gemus.
We're sales representatives with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. Today we'd like to talk to you about the lawyer's role in the real estate transaction. And we'd like to introduce you to Martha Pieterson-Bondy.
Hi, Martha.
Hi.
The first question we have for you would be, at what point does the buyer or seller contact you, the lawyer?
Generally, the buyer or the seller would contact me once conditions are removed from the agreement of purchase and sale. What I mean by that is usually financing conditions and house inspection in terms of a purchase. And at that point, they would generally call me, and I would get pertinent information from them, generally the spelling of their name, date of birth. For a purchaser, it would be the mortgage lender they're going with, the insurance company they're buying their house insurance. Other things like whether someone else is going on title with them, their phone number to contact them and keep in contact with them. Utilities, I would have them set up utility accounts with the particular municipality they're moving into. And whether or not there's a survey they have with the property.
Okay, speaking of surveys, Martha, I get this question all the time from my buyers. Whose responsibility is it to do a survey, and is one absolutely necessary?
There's no absolute responsibility for the vendor or the purchaser to have a survey, because we have title insurance now. And generally what the mortgage lenders require is either a current survey, meaning 10 years or more current, or title insurance. And generally I'm going to be reporting to the mortgage lender, and title insurance will satisfy them too. So title insurance covers a purchaser in lieu of a survey. A survey is rather handy to have if you don't know your property lines.
If they need to put up a fence
exactly.
or make sure where their buildings are.
Exactly.
And what does title insurance cover? That's another question I get a fair bit.
Exactly. Well, title insurance will cover you in the event that you're encroaching on other property that you don't own, or your neighbors are encroaching on your property. So it's a one-time insurance that will ensure that you are within your lot limit and you are satisfying the building code and your code in terms of setback requirements with the town that you're in or the city that you're in.
Okay, and one other question. What about ownership? Like, ownership can go back a very, very long time.
Right.
So does that make sure that there's nothing ever missed on, like, someone from 50 years ago might still own that part of that property?
Well, we do a title search also down at the registry office just to make sure you have clear title. That's another search we do for the purchaser once we set up the file. And we do that and make sure that they do get clear title. We make sure there's no liens, and if there are easements, we make sure they're easements that should be there registered on title.
Yeah.
And we explain them to the purchaser once they are entitled to be registered as owners on the property. And generally, we ensure that the names of the vendors are clear too in terms of writs of execution, so there's no judgments against them.
Okay, so if you're a seller,
Right.
what do you have? I mean, obviously your mortgage gets paid out on closing.
Right.
What about property taxes?
We adjust for that on the statement of adjustments, so that if you've overpaid your taxes, you've paid them in advance of the closing date, you get credited back for the taxes that you paid.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so I guess the important question: when does the buyer get the keys?
Yeah, that's
That's the exciting part.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
exciting part.
Well, what I would do with purchaser is have them come in close to the closing date, and they would sign documents with me, and I would explain that these documents, both the mortgage documents and deed documents, etc., go down to the registry office along with the funds, which are certified, and then the vendor's lawyer would have their keys and documents we exchange, and then the keys can be released once everything is registered. So if purchasers are willing to wait until the keys and the files come back to me, it's 5 o'clock. But if they're willing to go to the registry office, it could be earlier, like 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, because that's always the $1 million question.
Exactly.
What time? Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And will you, as a lawyer, contact the buyers the week prior, the week of, a couple days before?
Oh, yes.
When can they expect a call?
Oh, they are absolutely entitled to call me at any time they have a question, and they come in the week of the closing, but I get in contact with them prior to the closing in order to set up an appointment to come in and see me to sign all the documents required for closing.
Okay, so it's not out of the ordinary. I know sometimes when I work with buyers, they'll call me a month and a half before closing. I haven't heard from the lawyer.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's not out of the ordinary?
No,
They
it's
can
not out of
just
the
pick up
ordinary.
the phone and
They
give you
can
a call.
just pick up the phone and give me a call. Yes, that's
Okay.
Okay, and what if you're selling your home, right? The buyer's excited to get the key, but the seller must be excited to get his money,
Oh,
right?
definitely, yes.
So
yes.
when does that take place?
That generally takes place at the end of the day of the sale or the following business day if the file comes back at 5. Generally, you can't make that deposit of those funds until the following morning. So then they would get their funds the following day.
Oh, so sometimes it is the day after.
The day after. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And once the whole process is done and our happy buyer is in his home and our happy seller has moved on, do they hear from you again? What can they expect after that point?
Exactly. They actually get a final report with a closing letter and all the documents that they have signed. So they get a
Okay.
final reporting letter with the accounting and everything showing everything that they've signed. All the closing documents would include a registered deed for the purchaser, registered mortgage, and all the documents they signed, plus the title insurance policy.
Okay.
For the vendor, it would show also the real estate commission they paid, of course their payout statements for their mortgage, and all the closing documents that they signed.
Okay.
So just to back up a little bit, if I just want to make sure everyone understands this, they don't have to bring you, right from the very beginning, they don't have to bring you anything. Dan and I fax you all the documents you need, the sale and the listing or whatever went on there.
Right.
And then they contact you. They don't have to
Exact-
worry about getting papers to you.
No, they don't have to worry about getting papers to me at all.
Okay.
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 As long as I get a phone call, that would be fine.
Okay. Well, that's
Perfect.
great. Thank you very much,
Oh,
Martha.
you're welcome.
So again, we'd love to thank Martha Pieterson-Bondy, real estate lawyer, for helping us answer these questions in very simple terms. If you have any more questions, we'll have Martha's information on the following screen, as well as Kathy and I's information. If you're looking to buy or sell, give us a call anytime. Thanks again, and we look forward to the next video.
Thank you.
Thank you.